What crazy theory do you believe in the most? All those DNA ancestor sites are giving the government your DNA for their record. I mean, that's literally how they caught the Golden State Killer, like 30 years later. Just got another dude. Also from Sacramento. For a series of 8s in the 90s via the same method last week. That the US government has staged attacks to justify a war. Marilyn Monroe was absolutely killed by the government. She had to be murdered. Nothing adds up. Too many people in the house at weird times. Too many people mad at her. Too many stories changing. That people give themselves Reddit gold to make their comment post seem more important. The military shot down United Airlines 93 over Pennsylvania on 9/11. They knew it was hijacked and on its way to Washington DC, and scrambled jets were right next to it when it went down. Plus several witnesses saw an explosion in the sky before it crashed. Totally justified given everything happening that day, but the government would never want to admit it shot down a commercial aircraft full of innocent Americans over America. Something freaking weird is happening with YouTube Kids. r/ElsaGate. I totally agree. Who the hell sits down at their computer and says I'll make a children's animation about Mickey Mouse chopping off Elsa's head and then posts it on YouTube and has it targeted at kids? If it's for ad revenue, then they could put in way less effort for the same payoff, because kids will watch anything. That the 2016 clowns were a marketing rouse to promote it, the movie, by reminding people that clowns are scary as it. I was told about the clown thing before it happened, and was told that it was part of guerrilla marketing for it. That Hot Ones makes the last chicken wing less spicy than they used to because somebody threatened to sue them. I've tested this theory and I believe it's true. Da bomb is literally kick you in the face, make you cry blood spicy. Last dab is nothing compared to that it. Edit. I've also tried Blair's Megadeth, which they used to use for the last dab, and it's still nothing compared to Da bomb. I believe that the government probably makes some theories to try to make questioning the government seem somewhat crazy. I think some memes are started by businesses as a form of free advertising. The recent Duolingo memes got me thinking more about it. Duolingo wasn't a small app at the time, but it became a lot more popular after the fact. There have been other memes revolving around a particular product brand as well that make me think this is happening on a strategic level beyond some kid thinking it'd be hella funny to do this or that. I'm pretty sure this was happened with the movie Bird Box. It was all over Twitter and other social media before I even heard anything about it from Netflix. Michael Jordan didn't decide to step away from the NBA to play baseball to honor his dad or anything like that. He got caught gambling, and David Stern couldn't allow the league to lose all credibility with its biggest star being suspended for betting on games. He had him take a couple years off instead of publicly punishing him. Nothing happens at Area 51. It's a chunk of highly protected land with nothing on it. Like, if you were gonna do shady government things, would you do it in the place where everyone knows you're doing something? Area 51 is just a cover up for a base elsewhere in the country. Planned obsolescence. If it's still a crazy theory, why does my phone suddenly develop unseen issues when the new one is released? It's not a coincidence. And who even asked for these tech companies to release a new phone every year? We live in a time where technology is now growing at a rather slower pace compared to the 2000s when there was rapid innovation. It's not like my current phone is getting crappier in 1 year, but wait, it is. Applies to phones, tablets, smartwatches, basically most. Rather expensive. Internet connected devices receiving updates. That our phones are always recording, at least audio, to target advertising of course, but more secret agent things as well. My mother-in-law talking at dinner about how hard it is to train for a marathon now that she is over the age of 55. I get ads all over Reddit, Google, whatever that read over 50 and a runner. Check out this random product within 4 hours of the conversation. I know there was a bunch of stuff about this, but I think every company denied it. Could be wrong though. 2 related to the US military. The US government pushed high school football on kids to get them in shape during the Cold War. The US government doesn't have free tuition for colleges due to many members of the military joining specifically to get college paid for. It would massively decrease the enlisted count. My dog is still living on a farm somewhere, 47 years later. The art world is basically a low-key way for rich people and companies to launder money, which is why the stupidest most odd of paintings randomly go for hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think that's a crazy theory so much as it is straight up reality. The very wealthy, like generationally wealthy, are known to put their money in art because it can't be taxed the same way and it generally appreciates rather than depreciates. There are only so many Monets and Beninis, but if you can spin a good story, any Joe Schmo can be the next Warhol. Yes, I'm a poor Philistine. Area 51 is just a front that was allowed to become popular in the public eye, but actually has nothing of value. Not saying aliens in bases exist, just saying Area 51 is allowed to be the popular secret base thing to cover up actual secrets. I must correct my previous statement. Camp David is a retreat, not an emergency location. However, that could also be a front. Also not downplaying what the airmen at 51 do, just saying that what they do now is not likely as top secret as people are led to believe. There was a Reddit Ask Me Anything, with a guy who was verified career CIA. When asked about Area 51, he said, "It exists to keep you from asking about Area 52. Not really one single theory, but I do feel like seemingly, quite often if a big political scandal is breaking, something tends to happen that dominates the news cycle for a little bit. A shooting, celebrity controversy, something. That is just basic political game. If something looks bad for political party A, then supporters and media of political party A push other news first and search for something bigger. Also, supporters of that political party runs to other news to keep their political bias in check." Marshmello doesn't actually produce his own music. My biggest piece of evidence is the creator arcade videos. He speaks and navigates Ableton like someone with only a basic knowledge of music production. He does everything number by number. Producers don't do that. You can't just instantly know. That sound needs a boost of exactly 1 dB at exactly 1.2 kHz. Without even listening to the sound first. He randomly pauses every now and then. Presumably to be fed lines. And he seems to lack even a basic understanding of music theory. Recreating MIDI by randomly clicking in notes with no regard for the key of the song. Someone with the level of skill he demonstrates should not be capable of making radio quality hits. Coca-Cola tested HFCS in place of sugar and found that while the taste was similar, people could tell the difference. They brought out new Coke to cleanse people's palates and waited until as much of the original formula products had been sold as they could. Then they cancelled New Coke and brought back Coke Classic, which was the HCFS version, and people didn't have any original stuff left to compare it to. The only reason they made New Coke was to act as a buffer so people wouldn't notice the change in ingredients. Absolutely hate HFCs in my drinks. I went to India over the winter. Over there almost every soda has cane sugar as the sweetener. And I just can't deal with eating corn as my sugar. There's too much corn in American food. I'll have to find the Twitter thread that documents all the uses we've found for corn and how it's in almost everything we eat. Not so much a crazy theory as a little known fact, because the head of the CIA admitted it, but the USA orchestrated a coup of the Prime Minister of Australia in 1975. Wait, what? Was it because of Vegemite? I don't know if this is a res or not, but I'm gonna take this opportunity to explain as best I can. The Prime Minister at the time, Gough Whitlam, was trying to make sure that Australia independently mined their coal and sold it to other countries. Other countries, mainly the US at the time, did not like this, as they liked their cheap coal. So, the CIA ran an intense campaign to convince the Governor General to dismiss Whitlam. He was replaced by Malcolm Fraser, who, surprise surprise, allowed the US to continue to get its cheap coal. The repercussions of this are still here in Australia, too. The major media outlets still relay lies about what Whitlam did, but have transferred it to whole Labour Party. And Australia's now in severe debt, partly due to the fact that we gave away our most powerful resource for practically nothing. That's all for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is simply watch the videos. But if you really want to see the channel thrive, subscribe, like, comment, add to favorites, add to playlist, and share with friends. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Reddit and Insta. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you with tomorrow's upload.